It's your girl Jazzy K with Super Tight TV. We want to thank everyone that's been watching. Hey, if you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, also press the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video.
You're not tuned in to something super tight. Puffin' something sticky, nigga, I roll through the light. Need to hear something real just to get me through the night. I'm looking for them jackets cause I know they looking shy. Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get the low love from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.
Already, baby, what's up and what it do? It's your big dog, Mogul+Louie. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in to Super Tight TV. We back, up your back, going smack, smack, smack. Just like that. Hope it feel good to you too, because it damn so feel good to me. I got my sexy ass, gorgeous, beautiful wife.
It's your girl Jazzy K.
In the building. Hey, baby.
Hey.
Our brother came back through.
Already family
You know what I'm saying?
reunion.
It's a family reunion, man.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Because he's been here before. This is part 2. So much has happened.
Oh, yeah.
So much has
So
happened.
much, man.
Smooth Vega's in the house.
Man. Give me the round of applause, baby. Hey, look.
The businessman in the DFW area.
man.
I'm going to start off by saying this, man. I'm proud of you guys. You know, when I came and I did the first interview, we talked about the YouTube channel and just growing the channel. And you guys were pretty early on.
Green.
Y'all were early on, but look, y'all are about 20,000 subscribers in now. It's still growing. And I'm just proud of you guys. Because, you know, this grind, it's an art form in its own right.
Man.
And it requires dedication. It
Yes.
requires time. You guys have the whole production set up. You guys have been consistent. At the time, I think y'all may have had maybe a little under 100 uploads or right around that. Now y'all got 1,000 plus uploads.
Yes.
And you guys are consistent. So I'm proud of you guys. And congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank
For real.
you. Because we owe a lot of our success to you and your wonderful advice.
Oh, man.
You're
Thank you.
tutelage.
Man,
Yeah.
listen, I mean, and I'd be pressed because I got to start off by saying this because I haven't done an interview this year.
Oh, 2024, baby.
Hey, first one, right? But I also haven't done an interview since my good friend Big D passed away. So I want to start off by saying rest in peace to Big D, Mogul Media.
Yes.
Rest in peace,
Yes.
Big D.
You know, I recently won Public Figure of the Year award at the Cosign Awards back in
saw
November.
that.
I dedicated the award
I
to
saw
him.
that. That was strong.
But let me tell you something. I really didn't get an opportunity to really speak on Big D.
Yes.
And so, like, I want to give that shout out because I feel like a lot of times when people pass, we don't speak about them after a certain time. And you know what? Like, I got an opportunity to know him. And, you know, he called me probably about a few weeks right before he passed. And he's like, what up, though? I'm like, what's going on? He's like, man, I just want to check on you. And it was cool that he did that. But what's interesting is the day that he passed, I got a call. I didn't believe it, for one. But I had just hung up from my therapy session. I had started therapy back in August, not because I was depressed, but because I want to be a better leader.
Way to go.
Start, you know, gaining more clarity and, you know, just finding ways to be a better person, a better provider, all across the board. But the therapy that I was taking was, interestingly enough, I had just finished the session. Big D actually had got me the insurance that led for me to get the therapy. So it was like, wow, man, that's crazy. And a lot of people don't really know that. So it's like, man, you know, I just want to show him his love. I know my boy Terry Blue,
Yes.
Dallas Global, they keep his name alive, but I just had to say that. So
Yeah. And you dedicating that award to him. That was strong.
I mean, look,
That was strong. I saw the video.
we're all creatives in this. You know what I mean? You know, you guys, you know, you take this as an art form, and like I said, it's you respect it.
I think it's serious.
Very, and I know you do. I could tell you do it. I could tell by the interviews that you do, the style of interviews that you guys conduct, and then not only that, but also like just the fact that y'all take so much time out of your personal day to dedicate to this.
Yes.
And in the beginning, especially when you're starting out,
There's no money.
there's not really money in this. You know what I'm saying?
No. There's no money in the beginning.
Yeah. And it develops, and as time develops, I'm sure you guys are going to get sponsorship opportunities, and as it comes in, you know, things are going to grow. But Mogul Media, Mogul Media, which Big D, he did a really good job of
Yes.
taking it to that next step. And I knew that he was going to take it even further. But, you know, with that being said, I just want to say his name because I think it's important to.
We got to keep his name alive, bro.
For sure.
I mean, you know, we did an interview with him.
Yeah, I remember. I saw.
Yeah, he came through.
I mean, he understood the art form to it though, because you know what, he started understanding the importance of sound bites. You know, really knowing how to, you know, get that out of people. Even my last interview with him, you know, we stirred up the pot with rainwater, and he like, he positioned it in a certain way to where like people were engaged, right? And, and I took bits and pieces from that, so you know what I'm saying.
It's definitely an art.
So speaking of rainwater.
Let's go. That's where we're starting. Let's go.
I had someone just recently. It's not going to be about rainwater in a sense.
I don't care if it is. We could go wherever, man.
In a sense it is, but in a sense it's not. It's more about TT Bumpy Johnson.
Oh, my man. That's my guy.
Now, am I saying it correct? Let's just say Bumpy Johnson.
TTOD Bumpy Johnson, man.
TTOD
That's
Bumpy
my guy,
Johnson.
Man.
Now I heard you still got your hands in the projects.
Yeah, I mean, look, man.
And I swear, I told our audience, I said, no, that's all rainwater. Rainwater.
Man, I'll be honest with you, Bobo. Like, look, I'm a mentor to a lot of these young guys, and whether or not I wanted that responsibility or not, you know, I've inherited that just from years of experience.
Yes.
You know, and just being around and, you know, just doing business the right way, right? So Bumpy, I met him several years back, and even before he started catching, fire, started, gaining momentum, he had asked me to manage him. Like, I mean, I don't ever want to put that out there like that, but
you said it on the last show.
I did, right?
Yeah, we talked about that. This is like a follow up to that.
Yeah. So within the context of that, you know, I was helping him out. I mean, I haven't helped him as much recently, but look, my line's always open for him. He can call me when we talk, you know, we pick up, you know, he congratulated me recently on some of the stuff that we had going on. I haven't been as involved in terms of like, you know, because, you know, I know that he got a little sensitive there, right? But I will say this, in full transparency, I had a record label, you know, so there's a gentleman by the name of Orlando Wharton who is in charge of Priority Records now. He had reached out to Bumpy, and we had like a kind of a conversation about Bumpy. And so I let Bumpy know, like, hey, dude, this guy's wanting to talk to you. He wants to, you know, potentially have a conversation with you in New York. And I mean, as far as that's concerned, you know, he's like, yo, man, if I go out there, will you go out there with me? I was like,
no, wait a minute. Let me ask you this.
You know what I'm saying?
How long ago was this?
It was a few months back.
Is Rainwater receptive to you being involved?
You know, I don't think we've ever had a conversation. I mean, Rainwater, after I started kind of doing the whole, like, being outspoken.
Yes.
You know, he did reach out and like, yo, let's do an interview. But he would always reach out to me to do an interview on his time. It's like, bro, I got a life. You know what I'm saying? I got kids. I got a wife. Like, I got responsibilities. I got to, you know, line it up with my production team. So I can't just drop what I'm doing because you want to do an interview. But I also wanted to come from a place of respect, not a place of like, you wanted to clear your name or whatever. So I don't know that he's receptive, but I also don't know that he knows. And I don't know that he really cares, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, like I said this recently, I did another interview and I said, like, when it comes to him in specific, clearly he has some form of influence, and I can't do nothing but respect the fact that he's worked his way into a point to where he can get that influence.
Yes.
But I just think I'm better at everything. That's it. You know what I mean?
You still think you better?
Listen, I don't think I know, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Listen, if this is a sport.
Vega up in here.
I go, man, I'm going to talk like, look, let me talk my shit. Look,
Pump your shit.
I say this is a sport sometimes for me, you know, and it's the same thing. You come from an era where being the best mattered. You know, that mattered. It meant something to us. Like, when, you know, as an artist, you wanted to get on the microphone and you wanted to outdo everybody.
Yes. And
I recently put this into context where I was like, man, you know what really drives me crazy is that I meet a lot of young talent, and these young guys that I meet, they'll, because let's be honest, hard work is subjective. What people consider hard work is subjective. Like, I'm putting that work in. Like, well, really, that's based on your interpretation of what hard work and what work is, right? So I said, well, look, in reality, you paying for this and paying for that, that's really not work, in my opinion. That's really what's expected from me. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's the prerequisite.
my friend said it best. He said, man, well, it's not about, working hard because that's subjective. It's about outworking everybody. And when we came up in the era that we were coming from, like that meant something.
It meant a lot.
You know why?
It meant everything.
Because we didn't come from the everyone gets a ribbon era.
The participation.
Yeah, when they started that, you know what I mean?
Let me give him a green ribbon.
Right.
Yeah.
It required you not to work as hard because if everybody gets a ribbon, it's not as special.
So I looked at it from when I started this whole rainwater situation back when I did, and D's kind of the Big D recipes, right? He's a big reason behind it, right? But I told him, I was like, look, man, it's like if I see a basketball in the middle of a court and I'm a baller and I think I'm better than you, I'm going to challenge you to one-on-one. Right? Especially when people are talking about you as if.
Can't be the man till you take out the man.
Especially when we're talking about, people think you're the best. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. But you know what? I believe it or not, I'll be a society. Like I do respect anybody that puts in that work. And, the guy puts in his work and I can't do nothing but respect him. But
do people like that who talk, not rainwater?
No, I mean, you can say him, yeah.
People who talk and say they're the best, do they motivate you?
In some instances it does, in some instances it doesn't. It just depends who it is, right? Because I feel like if someone that doesn't have any, I would say, any real, credibility says it.
Cachet.
Yeah, I just kind of ignore it because I kind of feel like some people want to believe that and make other people believe that. But when I see that people, there's a community that actually does believe that.
Yes.
Then that's when I go, And you know what? I'm like.
But that's social media, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the time we in
That's social media.
Anybody can have a follower.
Boy, you can have a following and you can't shake them.
Man, you know what I've learned?
You can't shake the fans off of them, bro. And they'll
what
come
have
after
you learned? Because I wonder if it's the same thing we learned.
You know what? It's so funny you said that because I was literally about to say, the one thing that I've learned for sure is over the past year and a half, really 2 years, I didn't realize how much it was smoke and mirrors. I didn't realize to the degree of it. And it's so much so that I'm like, some of the people that I thought all along were who they were really not.
Yes.
It almost feels like whenever you're a kid and you realize Santa Claus isn't real anymore. I'm like, this is really an illusion.
Santa Claus is real.
Yeah, stop. We got kids listening.
Well, it's like, you talk about perception being reality, right? So it's like, I realize how much social media especially is an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
It's an alternate reality.
It's the Matrix.
It's an alternate reality, right? And what started scaring me, and it started in November of 2022. I remember exactly where I was at. I remember exactly where I was going and where I was coming from. And I just remember driving. I'm like, I've outgrown these people. And it started feeling really weird because I never wanted to feel like I outgrew my peers. But I realized they're not my peers. My peers are the next group up.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you learn that because of social media?
Partially, I mean,
because I know where you're going. Because I want keep talking because I want to know if you're on the same. I got this thing that I say. Social media, like Facebook.
Yeah,
right? It almost shows you how many of your friends are idiots. Don't they say some shit that you be like, man, I can't believe they just said that, or they believe that?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the one thing about social media is I launched my website SUPERTIGHTTV.com in 2002. So I've had the website up for 22 years. I was doing social media marketing before it was called social media marketing. I shared a piece recently where I talked about, to this day, as in right now, currently, I still run 30 social media accounts. I'm responsible for over 10 million social media followers across all platforms. I run a lot of high profile pages. Obviously, Royce the 5'9", his YouTube,
yes,
his Facebook, his TikTok. So, and it goes down the line. There's so many other artists, but he's just one of many. And I do athletes, hip hop, singers, whatever. So social media has always been an ally to me. It's always been an ally to me. And I feel like I've learned and always known how to utilize it, probably before a lot of other people did.
Yeah.
I'm just now realizing oh shit, I really get it. But at you know, I'm about to be 39 years old. So me at 38 going on 39, like, I don't necessarily want the same type of attention that I did back then. So now I've really treated, and I continue to treat my social media platforms as a business.
As a tool.
This is nothing more than a business. Like, you know what? Like, this is what, you know, is my responsibility to my audience based off of what I've created and what I've built over all these years. This is all I'm going to give you. I don't even like posting photos of my kids and my personal, none of that. And it's not because I'm trying to hide them. It's more so that there's been times where I've been out in public and, you know, I'll be at Walmart and a random stranger will come up and know my daughter's name because they saw her on social. Like, it gets a little uncomfortable, you know? And I don't want to make them a target because people are very interesting.
I mean, and people think now, though, because of social media and because of having that inside track per se, that they know you.
They don't. Yeah.
Literally.
Like we brothers and sisters, we cousins type of thing. And you like,
Yeah, I've had a few people that'll share a piece of information that they saw, but I also understand, like, this is, you know, like, it's about setting boundaries. Like, look, this is what I'm willing to give you. This is what I'm okay with giving you. This is what I'm not going to give you.
That's real.
But realistically, from a, you know, a manager standpoint, an executive standpoint, an A&R standpoint, a label standpoint, whatever you want to call it, if I'm working an artist, I do want to utilize it, which is how to utilize it. What do I want to give them? And that's it. You know, it's kind of the classic case of, like, I don't want to overextend myself, therefore I don't want to give you more than I should.
That's right.
But it's taken time to understand that, because to be honest with you, I was a loose cannon on social media once upon a time. I used to, like, just let everything out. Like, I'm like, you know, I'm telling everybody I walked across the street. Like, you know,
that's Twitter. Oh,
yeah.
What's X?
X. Now,
X.
you don't want to overshare anymore, but you know, that's where we're at, man. So
yeah, for real. So what's going on with your artist Louie the singer?
Oh man, goddamn!
Congratulations, by the way,
so
man.
much, man.
Hey, do me a favor, man. Louie the singer.
Come on now.
Thank you. That, you know, it's surreal. You know, it's surreal what's happened over the last year. So Louie the singer, you know, recently we signed to Universal Music Group Nashville. He, you know, really, he's a unicorn, Mexican-American country singer, tatted up Mexican. To me, he is to our culture what Jelly Roll is to the whites. You know, he's a ex-convict / felon, you know, doing country music. And you know, even though he's Mexican-American, he doesn't sound Mexican-American. He's not playing that card, even though he is very, very proud of his roots and he does represent. But I mean, I discovered this kid at 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I discovered him at 17 years old on the side of the freeway. He was a troubled kid. He was in and out of trouble. I didn't realize that at the time. I was tipped on him. Somebody told me that he was a good singer, and I had met him briefly. But, I mean, like, I don't say this lightly. I know that I saved his life in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to see it go from this 17-year-old boy that I met that was in and out of juvenile, in trouble. 2 months after I met him, his grandmother goes to my mom at the time. My mom was still alive, and is knocking at my door. And at the time, I still lived at home with my parents, right? It's 2007, 2 months after I meet this kid, and his grandma, who, bless her heart, is an angel, is like, I need to talk to your son. I wasn't home. And she's like, you know, he's one of the only people that I feel has the ability to influence my grandson. And my mom told me, and I was like, hell no, I don't want that responsibility. I'm 22 at the time. I'm young. I just didn't have it in me. But as time progressed, you know, like 2011, you know, we're at a birthday party. His dad pulls me to the side. His dad's no longer here either. And he tells me, hey man, I need you to, you know, come over here. Puts his arm around me. He's like, you see him? You see him right there? He's like, look out for him. He really looks up to you. So to see all this, and never mind the music, right? To see this, you know, him going in and out of prison, you know, us disconnecting, reconnecting, and eventually him to finally reach that potential that I always knew he could reach. I always knew he can get to.
Yeah.
And hit a stride and, you know, go all across the country, sell out all across the country, you know, for us to reconnect and finish what we started.
That's
I mean,
That's beautiful.
I mean, you can't write a story like this.
Can't make
no.
this up.
Let me ask you a question, because you said all across the country.
Yeah, man.
I saw something on your social media.
Yeah.
What's the name of the arena here in Fort Worth?
You talking about
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
Billy
Yeah,
Bob.
Billy Bob's, man.
He sold out Billy Bob.
So let me tell you, that's another thing. So when he started this year, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more context. So when we weren't talking at the beginning of this year, we had like a personal fallout.
You mean in 2023?
In 2022, we had a personal fallout.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
we weren't talking going into 2023.
Okay.
And he'll tell his variation. My variation is a lot more from a standpoint of like, look, man, like I've given you years of mentorship, years of looking out for you to the best of my abilities. And I will never look back at the times that we spent together as a waste.
Yeah.
I know my intentions were right and they were real. And, you know, if this is the version of you that you've become at that time, he was very upset, very bitter. He was broke. He was mad at the world. And I was a casualty of it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was like, I had enough. My bandwidth limit had been exceeded.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm like, you know what? It's probably best we go our own ways. And I was at peace with it because I was going through some internal changes where I'm like, I believe God tells you when to do inventory.
Yeah.
So I was doing inventory. You know what I'm saying?
Pruning season.
But it worked out. You know, it worked out. You know, it was almost like he went off and did his thing and proved himself to himself. And he needed that as well. And I continued to do what I was doing. So at the beginning of 2023, started kind of hearing a little bit around the way, you know, hey man, you know, Louie's building up. That's cool. I was disconnected. I had it blocked on social. I didn't want to have nothing to do with him at the time. And then it just kept on growing. Finally, you know, I had seen a photo with him in a record label in California. And I would say that was the first time that I had like the big brother mentor, you know, instinct kicked in where I'm like, man, who the fuck is representing him right now? Like, I don't want him to get taken advantage of because he had been taken advantage of as a youngster. And so I didn't want him to experience that again. And so there was a part of me that wanted to reach out, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna leave it alone. And I don't want to come around when things are going on either.
Right.
So then, you know, and we had exchanged a few texts here and there, very light, right? But my dad actually, we were out at my son's birthday and my dad mentioned, he's like, hey, you know, I saw your friend Louie. He's doing some really good things. So when my dad told me, I was like, okay, you know, you're 60, 70 years old.
How the hell you know?
Yeah, like, how do you know what's going on? And I know he heard on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do a deep dive. And then probably about a week later, Louie posted something on social media like, if you want me to do a song with this guy, tag this artist. And I happen to be representing the artist that he was working with. So everybody was tagging me. And at the time, I'm like, is this dude doing this to get my attention? All he had to do was call me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I waited, and, you know, a good friend of mine, Renaissance, really kind of like talked to me over the phone, and he was like, hey man, like, y'all guys are brothers, y'all got this and that, blah, blah, blah. He gave me this whole spin. I'm like, damn, dude, you're right. Because, you know, life's too short.
You ain't lying.
You know, and then, you know, let's be honest, like communication is, one thing about communication is that you'll realize when you just talk to somebody how much an issue is not an issue.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I reached out to him probably about a few days later, and I let him know, like, hey, man, like, I know we ain't talked. Send me that song that you want the artist on. I'll get it done within a week. And I hadn't even talked to the other artist. I just told him that. And he waited about a day or two, and he sent me the song. And the name of the song was called Brothers. Ironically, right?
Yeah.
So when I heard it, I'm like, this is a fucking incredible song. It's my favorite song you've ever done. Because I hadn't been hearing what and I'm telling you, I was checked out.
Yeah.
So I wasn't keeping up with the music like that. Like, I really kind of compare my relationship with him kind of to like a trainer and a boxer. Like, you know, I discovered the young Mike Tyson that was just ready to go to prison and fuck up his life. And I put him in line, and, you know, I taught him the basic fundamentals. I taught him how to punch, footwork, whatever. And then eventually, you know, he went to another trainer. Another trainer, you know, and then he's back to his original trainer. So like I taught him the fundamentals, but this version of him was a new version. And, you know, he created this version off of all those tools that he learned from all his trainers.
And that's what's up.
And so conclusion in all of this is I hear the song, I'm immediately like, whoa, this is a great record. And then, you know, he invited me over, and then he had a show in Fort Worth, which is what I'm going to get to now. show he had in Fort Worth, he was like, hey man, how much would you charge me to host this show? Mind you, we hadn't talked in an extended period of time. I'm like, dude, I will never charge you for anything. Don't ever ask me for anything. But he was playing a 300 cap room in Fort Worth. So I went, it was sold out. This was in April of 2023. So mind you, this is now about 9 months ago.
Yeah.
From April of 2023 to December of 2023. Now we're talking about that 8-month window. Now we're reconnected.
Yeah.
We can go into that later, but he sold 300 tickets and he ended the year in the same exact city selling 2,500 tickets. You know, and making at this point,
Oh yeah.
Right?
I saw the crowd.
10 times more than he made that day. And so it just happened that fast. But, you know, I kind of feel like the journey was always meant to reconnect and it was always meant to be one way. Like we were always meant to do this.
I need to meet him.
Well, you know that
We need to meet him, don't we,
that
baby?
happens all the time. I mean, you grow apart. You after that, you got to grow.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, they was right all along. It's just like parents and kids.
Well, you know, I like, and it's personal for me. Like people don't understand, like they don't realize how deep the relationship is. And like I've bailed this kid out of jail type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like some random kid. He was there the day my mom passed away. My mom passed away. I'm talking about not even an hour after she passed. He's at the hospital. He's one of the first people there. Same thing, you know, at his
family.
Yeah, I mean, so like, this ain't even music.
Yeah.
So
family.
so when we go to, you know, we met with Interscope, we met with Universal, like we feed off of each other to the point where we're finishing each other's sentences because we not only grew up together, big bro, little bro, now we're just bros, right? But like I mentored him. So, you know, I see him and it's like, as a mentor, you always want to see your mentee become a better version of you in certain areas. But then I also see some of the things he does. I'm like, yo, you really fucking listened. And you applied. And so we bounce off each other. And so we work very in unison in that sense. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that are different about us, but for the most part, at its core, like very similar in terms of, you know, the psyche, the mentality. So even whenever we signed to the label, there was a video of me crying and shit. Like people don't understand, like it's deep. It's deep, you know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. But yeah, I mean, look, you know, Universal Music Group Nashville signed them back on Halloween officially. And ironically, we released the first single on the major. The first single came out on January 5th. And guess what song it was? Brothers.
Oh.
There you go.
So you picked it. I'm not you picked it, but you knew it.
I knew when I heard the song, this is it. Yeah, you gotta sit on that record. You gotta sit on that record. So that record's out, but that was the first single. So there's a little bit of history.
So did the artist that you represented get on it?
Yeah.
Who was that artist?
So I was handling booking. So for the general public that may not know, the famous singer Selena Quintanilla Perez, right? You're talking about the queen, our Elvis.
Selena.
Right? She's our Elvis. She's our Michael Jackson, right? To the Mexican-American culture, she's, that's it. She's the queen.
Right.
Oh, but she don't.
So her widower / husband is a Grammy Award-winning guitarist in his own right, not only with her, but also on his own. I was handling a lot of bookings for him. And that's who I paired him up with.
Oh, that's dope.
And so now
You did an interview with him, right?
Yes, correct. Yes. So Chris, amazing musician, and I don't really like to use the Selena card like that, and I don't really like, you know, saying it like that, but that's just for people that may not know. But yeah, no, I mean, Louie's gonna go on tour here very soon, and Chris is gonna be the backing band behind him. And as a Mexican American, you have to understand what that means to the people, and we're not forcing it. We're not like, you know, Louie, and you know, we're just gonna let you feel that experience and understand it whenever he gets there. But yes, he's on the record.
That almost sounds like a super tight exclusive.
It did.
Damn, because I ain't heard that one.
Yeah,
all the stuff you've been saying, I kind of seen you post about it. You know, heard through the grapevine.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard that one.
Nah, nobody really knows the extent about the Brothers record and how it came together, and then, you know, even the fallout, and even how I became his manager again. Like that, that wasn't a, listen, man, it wasn't a conversation. We met, and I was so confused when we reconnected and we finally hung out. He's like, hey, let's go to Guitar Center, right? We had just reconnected, and he acted like nothing ever went wrong, and we hadn't stopped talking. I was like, this fucking guy, like, and then we go, and then I'm like really trying to read him, but I saw this twinkle in his eye, that I've seen very few artists have. And it's always the artist that I know that got to that next level. And I was like, this motherfucker's ready. Like, I knew he was ready at that point. And he's just talking, and then we're like, all right, conversation. And he starts telling me, hey, man, I recently did a show. And he was talking about some of the smaller shows that he had been doing and that they were doing well. He's like, bro, I'm starting to get some fanfare. Like, I think I could sell tickets. I'm like, how many tickets do you think you can sell in Dallas or like San Antonio or whatever? He said, man, I think I could sell 500. I immediately thought, man, this dude probably could sell half of that.
Yeah.
But let's do it, because we have history. And so I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. So after his show, we ended up meeting up. I may have set up like 1 or 2 shows, but we ended up meeting up at Starbucks. I said, look, you have labels that are looking at you right now. Like, this is my level of expertise. I've never told you everything I know because I've never been in a position to tell you everything I know. Plus, you lack maturity on a personal level and on a professional level. So I couldn't give you this. But I'm ready to give you some of this. And I said, if you want to add more zeros to the end of any potential deal you're going to get, follow my lead, understand the formula I'm about to give you, play hard-ticketed rooms that report to Polestar, and let's see what you could do. So I played it conservative. I didn't think he was going to do anything outside a certain number. And the fucking first week sales, the first day sales came into some of these cities, and I was like, this fucking guy is about to fucking sell out here. And so then I started putting the feelers out to different markets, different cities, promoters that I've met over the years, general managers that I've met over the years, and people just started naturally getting involved, and it just started taking off. Paul Wall was a good friend of mine, instantly got involved. Like, everybody started coming around and helping him, and it just, man, it grew. And he was doing his own thing as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, dude, I mean, it's just like I said, it's so surreal. And, there's plenty of times where I was on the road and I was just observing and watching and just like, this shit really happening. Like, it's really happening in the way that it did. Because they always say most overnight successes take 15 years.
Yeah.
He's the 16-year overnight success. And then to be able to do it with the person that brought him in, there's just so much built in. And like I tell you, there's so much that I'm leaving out in this. Because
Are you giving us the cliff notes?
yeah, because there was a whole phase of, early on in his career. Like, a lot of people don't know this, and I don't speak about this like out loud. This is a Super Tight TV exclusive in the sense that I haven't spoken on it. He has a little bit. But like Leon Bridges, who's a Grammy Award-winning artist from Fort Worth, he actually got his start as Louie's backup singer on stage. Leon's first time ever on stage was me, Louie. It was Louie's set. It was my set, but Louie was featured on my set, and Leon was behind him. He had never been on stage before this. I have the receipt on my phone.
I always love seeing that when you go back and look at old, and then you're like, oh, she.
Do you see him in the background?
Yeah, and I mean, and look, the history book was only written one way,
That part.
right? And it always somehow or another draws to me or him, and we've played such a big part, and we've waited our turn patiently, and we're just now starting to fucking get that recognition nationally. And it's been cool, man. So,
Y'all being together just seems like
Beautiful.
it just makes sense. You know what I mean?
yeah. At times it didn't, man. Well, that's what I was saying. When we caught up, it was like we caught up and, like nothing was wrong. And then, we never had a conversation about
What happened?
can I no, I tried, but we didn't go nowhere much. I was like, yo, I never asked him, can I manage you? And he never asked me, can you manage me? I told him, hey, I'm about to start an agency. Because that was kind of that's what I was trying to do in 2023. Was like just represent and get commissioned out and not really like be too involved.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, I mean, you can handle a little bit more book. Cause I thought we were just gonna have because I didn't want to like come like, hey, we haven't talked in a long time. Your shit's popping now. Like,
Oh yeah.
let me come in and
Here I am.
Let me come in.
Here I am.
honestly, I didn't care. Like if it didn't have to be that.
Yeah.
But I think he knew you're the best fit and you will always be the best fit because you know me.
He trusts you probably.
And he's like, and you raised me in the music game,
That
right?
part.
That's like he says, right? But no, there's truth to that. And so I was like, man, look how interesting it is. So, he didn't ask me to manage him. I didn't ask to manage him. And he just, next thing you know, I go on his Instagram. I'm, on his bio. My phone number's on his page. I was like, this fucking guy, he knew what he was doing. But what's cool about it now is I tell him this often. I said, it's interesting how in the beginning of my career, or your career, when you started, I was the one that had the experience, and and I was still relatively fresh. I was still about under 10 years, and I took whatever resources I had, and I paid it forward, and I gave it to you, and that started your journey. And then over the years I've done it repeatedly, but now it's like the tables have turned a bit, and I still have leverage. I still do a lot of great things. Don't get me wrong. I still stand on my own, but now he has.
That's karma, my friend. That's how it should be.
He has that platform where he's a big artist, and now he's taking his platform and he's redirecting and said, "Hey, look, I know I'm great. I know y'all love me, but look, this guy's great, and he's the reason why I've been able to be great." And it's shed a whole nother light on me that I needed, because I was talking to you guys the last year, like, I'm an executive, I'm the best at what I do, blah blah blah. And it's like, but the results will show,
and that's beautiful.
You know what it is? Because people will say, yeah, like you say, show me. Where's your artist? Now you got that artist.
And you know what? The beauty of it, I ran into Snow the Product in August, and I was like, dude, we hadn't seen each other. I was just so excited. I'm like, man, can you believe? Because she knew Louie when he was younger. Can you believe that the artist that ended up taking off is the artist that was there in the beginning? Like, and I'm over here like, can you believe it? Like, oh my gosh, it's crazy, huh? Like, he took off and he blew up, and she's like, how is that crazy? Like, you always knew. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, you knew that from the beginning. So like, why is it surprising? And I'm like,
it don't always turn out the way you think.
That's what's surprising. It don't always, because you're right, baby, because things tend to go wrong.
Right.
Tend to go sideways.
But I can only, and I always say, I can only take credit for so much of it, because at the end of the day, when I wasn't around and he figured it out, like the whole genre switch to country, because he was an R&B pop artist prior. When he made that was a decision he made naturally. In fact, true story, I actually was trying to steer him more in the direction of being a songwriter producer. I'm like, look, your penmanship is great. I don't see it happening as an R&B artist. You need to create new artist energy, and I don't see that happening over here. So you got to figure it out. Yeah. So I think we need to start going in this direction, because I think you can be an amazing songwriter and make money for the rest of your life in this area. And we couldn't, and he believed in himself, and then when we fell out, he went through an ugly breakup, and he started doing country music. And
you can write them country songs and blues.
And it was just like, dude, but naturally he was evolving. He was now accepting, I'm no longer a boy, I'm a man now. And now that I'm a man, I'm going to make man music, and that's what you got. So,
and it worked.
It worked, man. And this past year, like I said, he performed halftime at the NFL game, the Houston, Texas season opener. He was a halftime show. He was on the cover of the Dallas Observer, like, signed a record deal. You know what I'm saying? We've met a lot of fucking people in the past, half year, really. Like,
shout out to that brother.
Toured all across the country. Fans singing his songs. I mean, he recently did Big Boy's Neighborhood, which is interesting, right? Because, he's a country singer, but he's going to, the hip hop stations are featuring him. You know what I'm saying? Like, LL Cool J, literally, we met LL Cool J, and LL was like, I'm going to see you at the Grammys. Like, your shit is dope. And it's like,
that's huge.
For me, I look up so much to LL, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Right? Like, did he just tell you that? Like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, yeah.
But it's been, like, for me, like I said, I mean,
it's God, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Nothing but God.
It is God, but like, proud.
Yeah.
Like, I can't express it any other way. It's like, I was in the studio with him probably about a week and a half ago, and I went on live that night, and I was like, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I was talking about being grateful because I see him and I'm looking at him work, and he works so different, and I'm just thinking about the kid. I just see the kid that I met, and I'm like, shit.
He's grown now.
Now I will say you have quite the eye and ear for talent, because
oh yeah,
who's this lovely, beautiful songstress?
You got a miracle over here.
Brought with you today.
It's funny. I said this recently. I said, man, and I obviously I represent talent. I've worked with a lot of talent over the years, but I had recently said, I was like, man, I only really have like one of those in me, right? One of those people that you meet. And then I'm like realizing, like, the challenge is, to me, it's like, to be considered great, you got to be able to reproduce greats, right?
Yeah. That's right.
And that's always the challenge, because I've always wanted to find somebody just like, and it's funny because I when me and Louie weren't talking, that was like one of the things I was like searching for. Like, I want to find somebody that's just like, I discovered that fresh, and then you introduce them to the world, and then you're associated with that person because it means something. It's legacy,
Right.
and it's just something that drives me to be able to be, someone that can take somebody and change their life, and their life is better because I put my hands on that situation, and so all that to say, Myracle Jae, right? I recently shared some music of hers online, and man, let me tell you something. I met her in 2 years ago. So when it was 2024, 2022, I was speaking at Southwest High School in Fort Worth. And they have a really unique program, man. Amazing teacher over there, Mr. Petrelli. It's like a school of rock. They have like a recording studio in there.
Really?
They make beats, they perform. It's the coolest program I've ever seen.
Not to pick a destiny.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool situation going on over there. And I went over there and I spoke. And she was the one kind of chaperoning me and another artist I managed. We went to go, and she was kind of chaperoning us around, letting us know where to go. And I knew instantly, like, man, she has a very distinct look, but I didn't know she sang until like towards the tail end of the presentation. The teacher plays something that she did on TV, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like really legitimately like blown away. And I just kind of whispered over to XB Valentine, who's an artist I manage. I said, she's special. Like, she's really, really good. And so I may have told Myracle, I may have told Petrelli. I don't remember who I told, but I was like, get me in contact with your parents, like, immediately. And so I was bugging Petrelli. I may have told her. I don't fucking remember who I told. I just remember, like, get me in contact with a parent.
I know that's right. A parent.
And I did. And that was kind of how it started. And then I think by the time Petrelli got in contact with me, I think I may have already spoken to her mom. And it was towards the end of the school year. Oh, wow. So I was like, hey, let me take y'all guys out to eat. Let's have a conversation. I didn't know Myracle like that. Like, I just saw the talent. And I'm real big on, like, you don't ever want to rush anything.
Oh, yeah.
Organic.
It just takes time because you don't want to put that much pressure on someone that's young because, it takes time.
And then their minds are all over the place.
Well, I mean, and so, like, as I started really kind of just doing, but here's what's interesting. So Petrelli sends me a recording, which I had already heard this, the version that she had sung on TV, but on the TV that he played, but he sends me a recording. It was her singing Billie Holiday. It was a song called Strange Fruit.
Strange Fruit, that's my song.
And when I heard it, and at the time, the recording, she's 14 years old, I was like, I instantly, it reminded me in its own way, it reminded me so much of Leon in terms of just a vintage, that voice. Like, matter of fact, I have it on my phone. I think I can play.
You're going to have to hit us.
I'm going to play it for her just real quick. I'm going to let y'all hear the opening note.
Southern trees, bro.
And when I heard it, I was just like, yeah, like I knew instantly, like I'm going to find a way to work with her.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
So she's 14 in this recording.
Girl.
And when I heard this, I was like, it would be a disservice and an injustice to the world if I don't find a way to shed this.
Absolutely, because no 14-year-olds today are singing that.
No, not at all.
Not at that level.
I mean,
not only at that
not
level.
14 anymore, but still.
Yeah, not at that level. And not even, they don't even have the mental capability or the understanding to want to sing a song like that.
That part.
To seek it out. There you talking about.
Yeah.
How did she even know about that? You know what I mean?
Like, for real.
Because Strange Fruit is one of those songs. You can't just sing Strange Fruit. You have to know the meaning behind the words for it to come out right.
But when I heard the voice and I heard the pain and everything, the emotion.
Yes.
It's like, you hear every now and then like artists that sing from the pit of their stomach. It's like I was hearing this coming from the soul. So I'm like, this is rare. Mm-hmm. And so now it's like, how do we polish that? And so I was never in a rush to release music. Mm-hmm. And so even recently, like I was like, no, just play, we're getting to know each other. And finally one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it time. And I was busy last year, honestly. So I didn't get an opportunity to kind of go that direction as soon as I would have liked. But one day she calls me and she's like, man, what's up? Like, I'm ready. And then in that moment, I was like, you know what? That's what I wanted. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that because you never want something for somebody more than they should want it for themselves.
That's right.
She had to get off the pot, Smooth.
Yeah, come on, Smooth. I'm ready.
That's literally what happened.
What we gonna do?
That's literally what happened. She's like, yo, what's
right.
going on? I mean, are we doing this or not doing this? And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So those recordings that I put out on social, the first one was a recording from her at 16. The second one was her at 15. So people haven't really heard her in current form, but here we are, man. I mean, like,
y'all better stay
Extremely
tuned.
strong voice.
and listen, the other part of it is that when I show it to certain people, man, and I don't say this slightly, right? But I've played this and I've had labels and people reach out, like Erica Badu's team all started following her after this clip went. Dallas Global posted her, like people are like really gravitating. It's like, yo, she's fresh out the gate, 90 seconds in. South by Southwest, one of the organizers over there, right? You know how hard it takes, how long it takes for people to get on this festival. Like, they reached out to me like, we wanted to play this year. I'm like, dude, off a 90-second clip.
Hey.
And this is God given, right? This is God working.
In
out.
the
When it
words
work, it
of
works.
Common, it don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine.
Yeah, and I knew that could happen. I just wanted to be prepared for when it did happen, not for me, but more so for the artist, right, and the talent. But all that to say, like, I'm happy for her. I'm proud that it's happening and it's coming together. And we could bring her on right now. She could,
Yes,
she can get the introduction.
I'd
right
like
here,
to
man,
meet
you know
this
what I'm
young
saying?
lady.
And I'll let her tell her story better than I could tell her story. But I will say this: extremely proud of her. You know what I'm saying? And I think the future's bright.
I am too.
And we need talent. We need new talent.
And shout out to her mom. Yeah. It's not easy being a mom of daughters.
Oh man, you know what I used to say? I say this all the time because I have 2 daughters, right?
We have 4.
So I always say having daughters is like having 2 sons.
I don't know about that.
Hey, they're demanding.
Having daughters is like having 2 sons. No. That's the man perspective.
4 sons.
From the woman perspective.
Well, there she is. Let her.
We got Myracle in the house.
Myracle Jae. Is that right, Myracle Jae?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Allow her to introduce herself, and you can tell the world all about you here in just 1 second.
What she sounds
That's
like.
my song now, Strange.
Hello.
Get a little closer in the microphone.
Sound good to me.
Oh yeah, you sound good. You can cut that volume up.
Kenny, she good.
Yeah, she sounds good.
So, Smooth Vega, we introducing a new young lady,
Yeah, man.
a new artist.
Forward Texas, very own, man.
I was about to go there. As I was walking around there, I was saying, you know what? This man is bringing all this talent from Fort Worth.
Yeah, man. Proud.
Wow.
Yeah.
How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I've got Myracle Jae in the house. You know what I'm saying? A new family member.
First
Jessica
interview.
and I go, quit doing my interview for me, dog. Jessica and I want to take credit for your first interview.
Yeah.
Of course.
And we want to give honor to the man Smooth Vega for bringing you out.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yes, yes, because you got a good man on your team.
Yeah, you do.
You
I
know
know
what I'm
it.
saying? And I've seen a lot of people. I know a lot of people. He's about his business.
Yes, sir.
And I've only been in his prison, twice?
Twice.
Yes, and I just from me outside looking in, I know he ain't no bullshit person. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
I meet a lot of bullshit people.
Yeah.
A lot of them. They scattered everywhere.
It's a lot of people who can put in a talk but
Yes.
cannot put in a walk.
That's it.
But one thing I can say about Smooth Vega is that from day one, he has showed that this is business.
That's it. And he's about his business.
Yes.
And like you youngsters say, he gonna stand on his business. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 17. Y'all already know I'm from Fort Worth.
Yes.
So, been here my whole life.
What part of Fort Worth and what high school?
Really all over Fort Worth, for real. I was born on the east side, but I was raised on the southwest side.
Okay.
But I've been singing my whole life. Just recently started writing my own music, though. It really wasn't until I started going to Southwest where I realized that music was a big part of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to sit and make videos on my mom's phone. Just little.
Now, I heard you say you've been singing your whole life.
Yes, sir.
In church or in the shower?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Did you sing in church?
No.
Didn't.
I really wasn't a churchgoer growing up.
Okay.
It was more like for holidays,
Put you on the spot, huh? Mm-hmm. I know that's right. So is it a family thing, or you're the one with the talent? I mean, let's talk about. Do you have siblings?
I do have siblings. I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers.
Oh, is it a?
Oh, Mom, you feel my pain.
Is everybody?
I guess the 90s was a real wild time.
No, it wasn't as stressful as it is now. Tell you that, right? It wasn't just wow.
Y'all was getting active.
It was a good time, wasn't it, Mom? The 90s
was a little,
yeah. So, are you the talented one in the family, or are there others as well?
There's others. Like,
okay.
I just recently found out that my dad was a singer. Didn't know that.
Oh wow.
Then I just found out that my granny used to sing in church. Didn't know that either.
Oh wow.
But really, my sister is what made me love music the way I do. Like, she is where I get my music taste from. I just really used to look up to her. Like, she was a Barbie doll.
Mm-hmm.
How old is your sister?
She's 24.
24. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. So, tell us about that day. I know we've gone through it with Smooth Vega. Mm-hmm. Tell us your take of that day.
That day we were actually supposed to have a little concert in the gym. So I really don't know why Smooth Vega came up to the school, but he did. But he was in contact with my teacher, Mr. Petrelli, for I guess some years. But he came up to the school, and I gave him a little tour. Mm-hmm. They played my song, and he asked if he could have my mom's phone number. We just been from there.
Already.
Mm-hmm.
The short version, but it matches. But you know what? That's how things work. Mm-hmm. And I was hearing him speak of Louie, mm-hmm. And how their relationship came full circle. Mm-hmm. And it's always, I always give credit to a higher power, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you're not where you're supposed to be, and sometimes you are. Mm-hmm. And I think you heard me say, I think he's learned a lot. You heard him say he was 22 years old when he started out with Louie, right. And now he's a grown man with 38, about to be 39. I mean, that's a lot of years of experience.
Oh, yeah.
So... Because you could have ended up in a bad situation, right, Lou? Well, right, Smooth.
Yeah, plenty of bad situations.
It's plenty. You've read about them, you heard about them. You know what I'm saying? So, I commend you in your career.
Can I write on this wall?
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna put you on the wall.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
But it kind of goes back to whenever I heard her. Then as I got to know more about her story, more about her life. Mm-hmm. You always want to navigate accordingly.
Yes.
And when I say that, it's more so from a place of like not rushing the process, but also understanding that I want to know that she wants it. Because she's actually been on stage. Like mm-hmm. I've actually put on 2 shows, I believe, mm-hmm. and it's just because I want her to kind of get a feel for mm-hmm. what it feels like, and like even the South by Southwest situation, that just kind of
it's gonna be big.
And and when I started sharing her video, the first video I shared of her was me and her in the studio, and I more or less already knew what was going to happen when I posted it, because I have a lot of traction right now. There's a lot of eyes on what I'm doing, and mm-hmm. My social media is, especially on Facebook, has been really, really strong as of late. Mm-hmm. So we posted it, and just the amount of people that also being from Fort Worth, mm-hmm. people that are tied to her, that are seeing the video, and that are tied to her family. It's like, wow. So, and I think just it's timing.
Yes.
I don't feel like there's a young artist like her at all right now.
I haven't heard it,
especially not locally.
Now I got to jump in and ask, because like I've said, Strange Fruit is one of my favorite songs.
Me too.
So So whose idea? I mean, okay, it's one of your favorite songs. Is that why you decided to record that song? And where did you learn it? Because you were what, 14 at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get
So
on that.
my music teacher, Mr. Petrelli,
Shout out Miss Petrelli.
yeah, I love that man.
Okay.
Anyways, so I didn't know who Billie Holiday was until he got me in the studio one day and was like, "You remind me of somebody. Listen to this song right quick." So I played the song, and he didn't warn me about what the song was. So I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out to this song that I had no clue was going to be this sad.
Yes.
And he was like, "Want to record?" Of course I want to record.
Okay, that makes sense. Then,
So I
'cause
went
I'm
home
like,
and did my research, got to know who she was. And I found a movie.
oh yeah, her movie.
Sings the Blues.
Her movie is
Amazing.
yeah, it's good.
You found other songs by her you like too, didn't you?
Of course.
Yes.
But I'm like, yeah, because you do have to have you have to be in a certain mindset and have certain emotions to be able to project that song the way. Yeah, you did that.
Thank you.
So let's get personal. Have you graduated? You know we got to get tabloidish.
No, I'm getting my
because
GED.
Getting your GED. Okay, that's cool. You got a boyfriend?
Good
don't-
enough degree.
No boyfriend. Stay single as long as you can. Make this career your man or your lady, whoever, you don't know whatever. What's your nationality?
I'm black and white.
Black and white. Okay. You're 17 now. What else?
I'm a Scorpio. My birthday is November 14th.
We getting all this for the first interview.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? These are things your fans are gonna want to know,
Okay.
and they're gonna. Well, you know how it is. Your generation, they love everything. They want to know everything about you. It's hard for me to get into that kind of realm, but I know that's what they like. So she's single, guys. She's single, guys.
And you just told her to stay. Okay, there she goes.
No,
And girl.
you stay single, but she's single, guys.
And girl.
The fans, you know what I mean?
But you know what? I will say this. Whenever I shared the clip,
Equal opportunity.
what I realized when I shared the clip was she was being compared. And this is like straight up. Like I'm reading the comments, and I literally
Come on.
she's being compared to Erykah Badu vocally, Sade,
Yes.
Amy Winehouse.
What's that other lady?
Amy
name?
Winehouse, Janae Aiko,
What's that other lady name that's from? I hate to
Billie Holiday. Somebody's like,
The
yo,
one
she
that passed away.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse.
Winehouse. Yeah, like it's like
That was said.
Yeah.
We already said that.
So,
My bad.
I'm just kind of curious. You know, you can speak to this. I don't want to interview you, but I want to know, like, of those artists that you've been compared to, like, is it something that you're like? Do you listen to those artists or like?
Of course.
You like Erykah Badu?
I love Erykah Badu. If I could meet her,
Girl, you and me both. Erica.
Erykah.
We're here.
There she is right there. There's the queen.
Got your
gorgeous.
picture on the wall.
Absolutely
That's the
beautiful.
queen.
Okay.
So yeah. So who are your inspirations?
Erykah Badu,
Really?
Janae Aiko, real bad. My big sister. It's a lot of them,
Yeah.
but they're all older. I love my my now music, but I can't get ready in the morning to that.
What do you listen to getting ready in the morning?
I listen to Al Green.
Okay.
What's your favorite Al Green song?
Uh,
You can just put Al Green on and let it roll.
Right?
seriously, there is no particular
so
song.
tired of
You can just put on Al Green's best hits.
them. Yeah.
Yes, he is one of the ones. Alexa, play Al Green, and he gonna
I don't
roll.
know who Al Green is.
Yeah,
Alexa be getting on my
You
nerves.
actually, I thought that was Alexa.
See? She's doing
Yeah,
that.
she can do it. So what's next? I mean, are we recording just songs? Are we recording EP? What does Mr. Smooth Vega have you doing now?
I think
Artist development? What does he have you doing?
let's ask Smooth Vega.
I think a little bit of everything.
Yes.
I mean, for sure, recording.
Yes.
Chico, who we work with out of the studio, he right now is for sure like, we got to bring in songwriters. Let's bring in some producers. He just wants to. He wants to see it grow.
Yes.
I want to see it grow.
Yes.
I know she wants to record.
Yes.
And she did mention the last session, she had a song that she recorded, and she had another song. She's like, I want to bring in somebody to maybe help me refine my writing a little bit. And the fact that she's wanting that at this age. I mean, look, even listening to her talk about Al Green, I didn't even know that.
Come on, man.
Listen, I mean, you hear that? Like,
Yes.
that's so refreshing to hear.
I'm going to go home right now and ask my daughter who is Al Green.
Don't do that.
She's 17.
Which I about to say which daughter?
My 17-year-old.
Oh,
Don't be texting her either. Don't text her the
I'm
answer.
not.
Yeah. How do you know about Al Green? Parents, good parenting.
Yeah, I was raised by an older white woman
Yes.
who was attracted to black men.
Hey, that'll do it.
Once you go
Ew.
I heard that.
That's a good one.
Mama crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's give a big shout out to my mom. My
Yeah,
biggest
Shout out to the
fan.
tea lady. You know what I'm talking about?
She's been awesome, throughout all this process, because whenever, I reached out, I did it the right way. I didn't try to go,
Behind the back.
none of that, and I full transparency, and she's been there every step of the way. If I have an
As
issue, she brings
should,
her,
right?
and I'll call her. It wasn't until recent that I really started calling Miracle more directly. And I remember the first time she called me, she was frustrated about a school program. It's like, and I remember looking at them like, fuck, this is Louie all over again, right? But
Frustrated about a school, what?
it was a program. It was like
Oh.
a music song selection that they wanted her to sing, I believe. But it also meant a lot to me for her to want my
Consider-
input and my
yeah.
advice on that situation. So I'm like, okay. But no, her mom is everywhere we go. I'm like, hey, I need to hear it. She'll come.
That's important. Stay close to your mom. Listen to your mother.
That's my best friend.
Learn yourself. Yeah, be true to yourself. Don't let anybody,
And if this tells you anything as far as the extent of the talent scouting, I went to her one of her concerts at the school. Me and my wife went and we watched her perform. So it's not like I was.
would.
Yeah, because I wanted, I'm looking at long term.
Yes.
And I'm just like, yeah.
What your wife say?
Oh, everybody believes in her.
Ooh.
I mean, my
Talk about
daughter.
how
I was
beautiful
like-
his wife is, right quick.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about it.
She's absolutely gorgeous.
That's
Yeah, I
what's
kick
up.
this coverage. You know what that means?
No, say it again.
You know what that means, don't you?
I don't.
You don't know what I kicked your coverage mean in football?
No, well, I don't know. What do you mean?
Is he supposed to have her?
Huh?
Is he supposed to have her?
No, I'll answer that. No, and I don't deserve
I
it.
kick my coverage.
And I don't
You know what I'm saying?
and I don't deserve it. I think as I've gotten older, I realize that. But I'll say this: as far as my kids, because my daughter's about to be 14, my son's 13, my youngest is about to be 10 this year, so they're still young.
Yeah.
They just to give me a hard time because that's not cool. No matter what I do, I'm not cool. I'm the old
Yeah, you're never
out of tune
cool.
guy, right?
Yes.
But my kids, they give me a hard time about everybody that I work with musically, but they absolutely love what she's doing. So it's so cool to hear.
That's what's up.
Hey,
That-
that's
it's
amazing to
refreshing.
hear,
That is
actually.
amazing to hear.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, she's 14, about to be 14 in about a week or two, and she's really good. So that makes me feel good,
You just gave me an idea. Yeah, we're gonna put our daughters up on you. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Because they love singing. They're not into rap too much. You know what I'm saying?
So her first single just came out on all platforms. So
Oh yes, Miss Myracle Jae. Let everybody know your socials and where they can find you.
You can
and
find
follow
me
you.
on Instagram at paradise.mimi. I think my TikTok is the same, but I don't post on there.
TikTok? Yeah.
Only where you post.
and the song's out now. Nirvana is on
On
Spotify.
all platforms.
Okay.
It's on Spotify. It's on all platforms.
And
Okay.
it's under Myracle Jae.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Y'all
letter
download
J
that.
or J-A-Y?
JAE.
J-A-E.
And it's Miracle MY.
Y'all,
Yeah.
Oh.
y'all do not stream that. Y'all download that.
Yeah,
Please.
seriously.
What he said.
Yeah, make it count for real. You know what I'm talking about? Because I think
We have to get behind
You got
our
you
own,
one.
y'all. And
Nah,
this
man,
is
we
got you
straight out
another
of
one.
Fort Worth. Come on.
Man, you know what? And I believe it, man. Every time I've showed some people, really credible people, and they'll say some really crazy things. Like when I say crazy things, I mean like, yeah, she's gonna win a Grammy one day, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
Yes.
about? 'Cause I get
Speak
scared.
it into existence.
I believe in it, but I also get scared when you put that much expectation on young talent. But you know what?
no, it's not on her. It's on you. It's on you to put her in the right position.
Yeah.
She got the talent.
Yeah.
You got to put her in the right position, and I got faith in you
And
that
it's
you
on
will.
you. Study all those greats and where they went wrong and don't do the same.
Yes. And
Wait,
yes.
I think I'm lost.
Well,
Study the greats and where a lot of them went wrong.
The greats?
Yeah.
Yes, like
grades.
Al
I thought
Green.
you said grades.
No, the greats.
The greats.
Yeah, singers.
Yeah.
And where a lot of them went wrong. You know what I mean? And
I think I can name 3 off the top of the head.
Name me 3.
You know, I know a lot of singers that went like downhill was usually because they couldn't handle the interactions with other people. So it was more like I get overwhelmed, I go home, and you know, my way of dealing with that is drugs.
yeah, substances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot throughout my 17 years of living.
There's a TV show used to come on called Unsung. You ever seen that? You can get on YouTube and see a lot of episodes of Unsung. All the great singers and things like that, great groups of the past. And it's amazing. It tells their whole story. You'll love it. But then a lot of them fell off. Exactly what you just said. Exactly. I mean, that they got involved with some people who,
Who didn't have their best interests at heart. So always,
Eddie Kane.
yeah, always stick with those that stuck with you and had your best interests at heart, and stay true to yourself all the time.
Yeah, I always tell that. That's the one thing I try to like extend. You know, I might be suggestive, and this goes with any talent, but especially a young one. You know, because she's finding herself. I could be suggestive.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, you know what? I think you should do this. Hey, you should do that. Hey, you should try this. But she's the one that has the ultimate say on that.
That's right.
You know, so she'll be like, I don't know about that. I'm like, cool. Don't worry about it.
Especially since he's a songwriter.
Yeah. You know, but I will say, like, if I feel strongly about something, then I'll push for it. But for the most part, I don't like being pushy because then it never comes out natural. And this is just historically, you know, like I know that from years of doing it. You should do this. You should do this. And then they do it and it's like forced and it's not like, and so in this case, it's like, just do you. And then, you know what? Like,
It's a time for that, though.
yeah, I'll come in. It'll come in when it's meant to happen, Brian. I just, hey man, this is the beginning. This is the beautiful part. This is the fun part.
Yes.
And it should be fun. And you should look back and just enjoy this, man. Enjoy the fact that people are dropping flame emojis on your song right now, and
That's true.
have yet to get one negative reaction on anything that you've posted. You
That's
know,
real. That's real.
You know?
I mean, that does say a lot
yeah, for sure.
because there's so many haters out there.
And it'll come. I'm sure it's gonna come.
Oh yeah, let them come.
course.
Yeah.
If you ain't got no haters, you doing
Love
something
it.
wrong. It's real.
But it's there, you know. So as long as, you know, for me, you know, you put in the work, it'll pay off.
It will pay off.
But I mean, I believe in her, and I think she's gonna do great things. So I mean, and it's good to have new talent, new voice, and
Fresh.
Yeah.
like I said, you know what I talked about, the vintage voice. It's like you don't have that.
No.
It's starting to become a little uncommon, you know. So
Yes. Especially that natural.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Especially since rap is in the state that it is in right now.
correct.
I'm never letting go of the music that I was raised on.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I'll say this, you know, like so many people follow me on social media now, on Instagram and on, you know, like labels and label reps and executives and A&Rs. Like this is a real thing now. So I'm real selective about what I post on social media and how I post it.
You got to be.
But posting her, you know, and having some of those people react and respond, and seeing certain label executives and certain label reps liking the post, like I'm like, yeah, like this,
You got to be strategic.
yeah, and it's, listen, man, it's about being efficient and effective, right?
Do you feel pressure now,
Definitely.
Smooth, since you posted her?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I do a little bit. I feel it more so because I'm being asked about it. I asked her right now on the way in. I said, hey, has anybody told you they recognized you yet? And her mom's like, well, she doesn't really go anywhere. I was like, well, that's fine, because guess what happened? I went to Dick's Sporting Good right here in Hewlin on Saturday. And just, you know, and it's common for me to be recognized, especially by the Hispanic community. You know, I have a really big Hispanic audience. So guy sees me on the way out, and I'm just sitting there. He's like, hey, he like, you know, turns back. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? I was like, oh, man, I love what you're doing. He starts giving me like props or whatever. And then he starts going on, man, my daughter, she went to Southwest High School, and starts giving me this whole spiel about his daughter that was 19 years old, that graduated in 2019, went to Southwest High School, and then only to tell me, I saw the girl that you posted from Southwest High School. I sent it to my wife. His wife was right next to her. next to him, and then I sent it to my daughter. It's like, dude, that's incredible, and just going on and on about her.
Yes.
And all I can think is like, man, I wish she was here. Because like this is what
That's just the start.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. But I am being asked about her. Like, and I think when I hear people wanting to contribute, people that are trying to be involved, of course, like I called her the other day because I had somebody reach out to me, Grammy Award-winning producer.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, that girl has potential. Like, what's the situation? So I immediately called her. I was like, has this person DM'd you? Because they just DM'd me. And they did. All I tell her is like, if you don't want to deal with it, redirect them to me. But I will say this conclusion. The very first song that she released, it wasn't even up for 12 hours. And she got her first paid gig. She actually has her first paid gig on February 10th.
So exciting.
First 10 hours of the song being posted.
Yes.
Doesn't happen that fast.
No.
You don't get people reaching out and asking you to perform at South by Southwest in March off a 90-second clip. It's God.
Unless you have that God-given talent.
It's God.
Yes.
Okay.
It is God. It is God. It's
happen
God.
for
There's
everybody.
no way around it. It's God.
It's straight up God. I'm a firm believer. And I praise your voice. That voice is angelic.
Thank you.
Keep working hard. Keep listening to the sensei over here. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. We got this thing we do for positive energy. I gotta have you rub the blue star. You know what I mean? The blue star will have you shining bright. That's not a Dallas Cowboy star.
Smooth Vega rub the star.
Oh, you didn't rub the blue star, Smooth? Oh, yeah, man. We need all that. We need all that. That's for your career, your life, you know what I'm saying?
Who made this table?
We got a guy.
You got a guy?
We got a guy. We'll put you in touch with him.
Yeah, that is
Stephen
crazy.
Taylor Design.
Stephen Taylor Designs.
Designs.
Yeah, he did all of our woodwork.
It's awesome.
Yeah. He's a Fort Worth
Yeah.
native as well. Yes, he is. Shout out to Peanut. You know what I'm talking about? You may know Peanut.
I mean,
Shout out to Peanut.
Yeah. So, do you have any shout outs?
Number one, my mom.
Yes.
Mr. Petrelli. Smooth Vega.
Petrelli.
Money Reezy. My best friend, Cha Cha. This podcast right here.
Super Tight
called?
TV.
Super Tight TV.
This is okay. Since you said
And
that,
Raw Only Fam.
so this is your 1st. You got to come back. Have Smooth Vega bring you back through a year from now when you. I mean, you may have to have security outside, people with little things in their ear. You know what I'm talking about? It's clear. It's clear. Yeah. Make sure there's no cameras in the bathroom. Make sure there's no cameras in the bathroom. You know, that type of thing. You know?
Was that your impression of security?
Yeah. You know, that's how they talk. Yeah. Yeah, like Secret
Now
Service.
you feel my
you know?
pain.
Yeah, I'm always doing shit like that. But I encourage you to keep working hard.
Yes, sir.
And I just know God's got big plans for you. You know what I'm saying? He's lining the stars up for you as we speak. So
It was something I heard the other day. It was like, you want it so bad because your future self already has it.
ooh,
That's deep.
you better go get it then. You better go get it and make it a reality. I mean,
Or your past self already lost it.
Smooth Vega said something really, really important. He should not want this more than you want it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you calling him just really probably just put that, she wanted. When you said you're ready,
Yeah, she was assertive, and I liked it.
Yes.
She said, I didn't mean no harm by it. And I was like, I believe me. Like, you want the eye of the tiger. You want the fire out of the
Yes.
talent. You want to be able to be like, I want to be a champion.
Yes.
I don't want to just be part of your stable. I want to be a champion. Like,
Yes.
so are we going to fight for a title, or are we going to work towards fighting for a title, or am I just going to be training all the time?
I'm
Like, you know what I'm
Rocky.
saying?
I'm Creed up in here.
So it's cool, man. I mean, and I appreciate you, shedding light and giving another opportunity to just talk to you guys. Like I said, like, this is, this is the first of many. And when she comes back in a year,
All right.
it'll just be her.
We ready.
It'll just be her.
I'm ready too.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Love to talk about myself.
And we're gonna have some new music to talk about as well.
We sure will.
By the end, new music to hear. I'm pretty sure Smooth Vega send me something to hear. Matter of fact, it'll probably already be on Spotify.
Are y'all ready to hear me on the radio?
Yes. Let me tell you something.
For
It
sure.
can happen like that.
It will.
I mean, the way he's talking about how South by Southwest reached out and off that 90-second clip.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to bring this up during your interview, but have y'all seen that little young guy out of Oak Cliff, that Four Bats?
Yeah, Four Bats.
Okay, I heard him on the radio on the way up here.
Man, you know what's so Four Bats? Let me put this. Like, I haven't told you this. So the week before she released her song, I didn't know about Four Bats. He had the #1 song on all of Spotify. All of Spotify, not just the genre, all of Spotify. And he's from Dallas, and he's a young kid. You know what I'm saying? So when I was like, man, I'm about to upload this clip of her, I don't know what to expect because it could literally happen like that.
Yes, just like that.
Just like
Yeah. And you know, when Dallas Global posted her, you know, I know Terry.
That's probably where I saw it.
Yeah, when Dallas Global posted her clip, and you know, Terry, I have a great relationship with him, but like when he did it, and I was like, man, like I saw the people that followed her off that, and it's just like these are some people that like a lot of these people don't just follow anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see it, and I'm really excited just to see kind of how it plays out for her. But I mean, I've always I've known it since I seen it. It's just more so like I don't want to rush you because then you're like, this isn't what I really want, you know. So.
We just had a young lady here, and she did artist development, right? And I asked her, I said, what is normally the time period for artist development? This is about 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's only been 2, so you ready?
Oh, she's ready. She can go on the spot right now if you need to. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. Shit.
I called. I was like, hey, I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but just know, be ready to sing if they ask you.
Yeah. Oh, you got something?
Do I? I do.
Let me hear something. Do we need a cappella?
Hit him with a little bit.
All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them.
Right?
See, that's no voice, hey, man, that's none of that studio effects.
That's
The voice,
effortless.
no effect.
Yeah, see,
You know what I mean?
On the spot,
She
right?
laughed doing it like, well, let me tell you, I got this. I can do this in my sleep. That's what it was like, wasn't it?
Oh, man, there you go, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all coming by. Thanks, Smooth Vega, for bringing her.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
She's a shining star.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yes. And Super Tight TV has your back. We got Smooth Vega's back. You know what I mean?
She'll be back, and when she comes back, it's just her. I'll be here, but I'm gonna watch her do her thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna watch the show. Man. But I appreciate you guys, and like I said, StillTipping2024.com, man. I got the Still Tipping show coming to Fort Worth on March 9th.
Talk about it.
And that's gonna be an experience, man. I was just sharing this on Instagram Live, but they went viral. Paul Wall, Mike Jones, and Slim Thug went viral talking about their this tour that they're going to be doing.
Yes.
And as you know, there's always an appetite for legacy acts. And I have a really good relationship with Paul. I've had a great relationship with him over the past several years, past 15 years. But to get these guys all on the same record, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what happened recently, is Scarface and Willie D had a fallout on the Ghetto Boys podcast. So like these guys that have been in the business together for a long time, it's
going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's natural. There is, a healthy amount of ego, but I think there's also like people are used to operating on their own.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a challenge to get these guys to commit to doing one date and let alone a tour. And I was fortunate enough to be the first one to put them together. And really, to me, it's like a proof of concept. Like I want to see what it can do in real time. And we went on sale today, and it's been going great, man. So I'm excited about it.
Where's the venue?
It's going to be at Haltom Theater in Fort Worth. My birthday's on March 10th. The event.
I forgot you were in March with us.
Yeah, so March 9th is the day of the event. March 10th is my birthday. So at midnight, it'll be my birthday. And then Paul Wall's birthday is on March 11th. So we're celebrating our birthdays together.
It was not the building, Still Tipping 2024.
Man, we need it. I don't know if you've had Paul on here yet, man, but we're going to make that happen, man.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Please make it happen, man. He's one of the good ones, man. I always say
we would love to have Paul Wall.
Paul is one of the good ones in the business, man. And I say this very, very openly and honestly. Like, I know that there's a lot of guys in Texas that they all have my utmost respect. Face is my favorite rapper pretty much of all time.
Yeah.
But man, when you talk about just the good guys,
I heard you mention you gave a a post about that one time.
Yeah, man. He's one of the good guys, man. He's a good guy and never asked for anything in return. And sometimes I feel like he doesn't always get his just due. You know, not only as an artist, but as an ambassador for the state of Texas.
Yes.
I always go, man, you're the mascot of Texas, man. There's very, very, like, to be honest with you, he's probably one of the most recognizable. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the most lyrically skilled or the best this, the best that. When you're talking about just recognizable, we all go to Walmart.
Oh, his face card is good.
Yeah,
his face card is good.
They're going to know who he is, man.
Yes, man.
And I'm so fortunate to be able to call him not only an ally, but a friend in this business. And he's done so much things for me. Like, you know, when I started working with XB Valentine, he instantly, you know, put his fingerprints on it. Always did work for her. Never asked for nothing in return. Same thing with Louie. Did a whole video with Louie. Louie's #1 stream song is actually the song with Paul.
Yeah.
Over 2 million streams on YouTube. Hit over 2 million views already.
I think I saw that video shoot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And Paul flew in, you know, literally flew in the day of the shoot, came in at 10 in the morning, flew out at 3 in the afternoon just for the video. Like, he doesn't have to do that. You know, you don't have to do that.
No, you don't. No.
And the fact that he does that, I know it's an extension of the relationship that I've built with him over the years. And anything that I can do to shed light on you know, who he is as a person, I would. And, you know, that's been cool, man. So I want to make sure he gets out here to Super Tight TV, man.
Thank you. You let us know and we'll be here. You gonna be here, Kenny? Yeah, you gonna be here, Miss Jazzy?
I will.
Man,
Live and in the flesh.
I loved when I saw Bun come in here, man. You know, I know we had talked about it. I was so happy to see him here and just so happy to see you guys doing some of the interviews you guys have been doing, man. And I just want to encourage y'all to continue to do it. And if there's anybody within my Rolodex, you know, I'm
calling.
Listen, man, you know what? Going back to Big D, top of the interview, you know, he had a clip where he's like, you know, Smooth Vega, he's my superpower. You asked me about some of the big interviews I've had. He's more than likely the person that's made it happen. Yeah. So, you know, you guys.
Oh, we got that card?
Family, come on now. Y'all got the card. Y'all make sure to use it, man.
Swipe that thing.
Use that whenever you need to, man. I'm
Thank
serious.
you, man.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, I want to see you guys and everybody around, you know, truly succeed. And I don't want nothing in return, man. I just want to make sure that y'all continue to do it, elevate it, and give artists like her a platform, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anytime.
What say?
Everybody can't come up here.
We got Lyrical Jae in the house. You know what I'm talking about? Miracle Jae.
Myracle Jae.
Miracle.
That's going to be her alter ego. Lyrical Jae will be her alter ego.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, for real. Myracle Jae, and I got Smooth Vega in the house. They both real super tight guests.
Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get it all up from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.